Thank you so much for joining us on another flight on Aviation this week on Channels Television. I'm Bukola Jo Oketumbi. Aviation remains a capital-intensive industry, no thanks to the myriad of problems the airline operators say they face in a challenging environment. With the airline operators of Nigeria set to remove themselves from the value-added tax payment schedule of the country, what lies ahead for the 7 surviving airlines in the country? Plus, cabin crew of a domestic airline in the country foiled the smuggling attempt of a 3-month-old baby on a Lagos-Banjul flight. That's our sneak preview.
Greater distances, more widely dispersed populations, and lack of terrestrial infrastructure make aviation an essential catalyst for social and economic progress on any continent. Airlines remain a big part of the aviation chain, and in Nigeria, the airline operators say after many years, as many as 43 airlines have gone under, and the 7 surviving can hardly breathe.
I would say the biggest resource we have, which is why we are a force to be reckoned with, is the population. We have a market. Civil aviation is not for recreation. It is for commerce. But it also provides socio-economic benefits. It provides profitability as well. But in the grand scheme of things, the first thing we're looking at when it comes to aviation is first safety, then efficiency.
Just recently, the domestic body of airlines in the country said come June 14, it'll cease to pay the value-added tax because it's alleged that some airlines were paying VAT while some other privileged airlines were not paying. Among the list of requirements the AON wants the federal government to look into includes customs duty, which the government has provided for zero duty on commercial aircraft, spares and engines, but is yet to be implemented. And the NCAA 5% ticket sales charge that the federal government adopt the global best practice of the unit tax model while taking due cognizance of inflation. On the national carrier issue, the body says it's a wasteful venture in this 21st century, but experts are also divided.
Today, tell me one local domestic airline that can bring in 10 wide-body aircraft and start competing with BA. It's not possible. We haven't seen that happening. So there's a need for a force. And that force, I think what the minister is trying to do is that force cannot be achieved without the structure of a national carrier.
I doubt it will. I doubt it will survive because it's all about timing, it's all about growth. If it's just even a normal independent airline, you have the growth period. You have the route that is established and it grows over the route. So I've not seen the development plan of this new national carrier, what routes they're going to start with, what routes they're going to improve upon, and over what alliances they're able to grow, because these are the things that are actually going to stabilize the airline and as well as the management structure. So when you look at the macro, the micro, and the political environment all put together, and God help us, we're going into the election period. So once you have the new management of the national airline with the new changing government come 2019, how stable is that national carrier going to be? So those are the challenges we look at.
The issue of multiple entry points for international airlines to berth at several domestic airports designated for international flights decimates the domestic air travel market and depletes the nation's foreign reserves and jobs.
We're supposed to be a force today in Africa, but sadly, because of a lot of treaties that have been signed or agreements or bilateral agreements that have been signed on behalf of Nigeria, has put us in a very bad disadvantaged position. One of each in my industry today, we have over 600 unemployed pilots roaming the street, when Nigeria is exporting over $3 to $4 billion of capital flight to foreign countries. Some countries today benefit and plan out of Nigeria. It's sad that those countries feed their passengers out of Nigeria. 40%, 45% of the airlines' revenue are generated from Nigeria. the same airline generates 32% of their GDP in their country.
All this multiple designation, we are going to stop it. These are moves that when the government makes, it will give confidence, it will build confidence in the domestic carriers. Because now the local airlines will feel, okay, fine, we will still be busy with our Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Sokoto, Kano, Maiduguri, Yola, and what have you.
While these challenges persist, support from government for this industry is as important as the growth of the economy. Other factors hindering the growth of domestic airlines include the availability of aviation fuel from reliable sources at competitive prices and multiple charges, which stakeholders believe should be addressed if the aviation sector and of course the airline subsector will flourish.